Welcome back to No Man's Land. So in today's video we are going to start our expansion of the main farm. So I'm just going to park the JCB fast track back up here, and then we'll just make our way down to the main area. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, we're going to clear out all the equipment. So we're going to move all the equipment out so I can delete all the buildings, flatten out all this area, and prepare it for future expansion. So let's first of all just check we've got everything. So what we'll do is we'll park everything over in this main area over here. That can stay there, that can stay there. Okay, these tractors are going to be the ones that need to move. So I'll just do this one by one. Hopefully this one can pull out here. I'm a bit stuck, but looks like we're good to go. So this is the dual wheel Big Bud. Pretty good tractor, a little bit slow, but gets the job done. Now what I might actually do is I'll try and send these guys, send them along using the destination tool. So I'll just send them away. Hopefully they can figure it out. Yep, he looks like he's on the way. He's fine. So this is another one. So if you're going to use the auto drive feature, you need to fold your tools and equipment first. So what I might actually do is I'll just drive this guy off into the distance over here. So this area is relatively flat to begin with, which is handy because it doesn't take much to shape it and landscape it, which saves us a bit of time and money. It obviously makes sense to have it in the centralized area as well and have the farm around it. So let's see if we can get this guy to drive. We'll just send him over here. Hopefully the truck will go as well. So usually you just have to close everything off, open our worker menu, and just spread these guys out a little bit so they don't run into each other. Now these guys won't move independently or with the AI helper unless you detach the header, unfold it so the wheels are on it, fold the harvester up into transport mode, so it's just going to be easier if I drive each one of these manually. So I'll just get them sort of out of the way. This guy should be able to drive out. Oops, so make sure the tool's folded. He's over this way, so I'll just send him over. Hang on, it didn't work. Okay, so that's not moving because it was in transport mode. So it might be an issue with one of these mods, who knows. So as you can see, quite a big field here. It was fairly easy, so I did plough this section. It's the other section, so to the left of where we are now is where I paid for it with the landscape painting mod. So even though it's a mod, it still costs money to put the texture down to the ploughed state. So you basically can either plough it yourself and save the money and invest the time, or you can spend the money and save the time. So because I'm not using the government subsidy sort of infinite money cheat, I'm still kind of, you know, economically managing the farm. Me personally, I find that a little bit more engaging in terms of gameplay, because if you have unlimited money, then you can have whatever you want whenever you want, and there's no real incentive for me to play. So it's just to make it a bit more interesting and challenging. And the money does, when you're terraforming a lot of land, you do chew through the budget quite a bit. So even though there's 10 million in the bank, and there will be a lot more once we sell all of our silos, all the crops and all the buildings, you still need to be careful that we don't run out. Alright, let's see if I can get this guy to drive off. So it's looking like it's working. Okay. I like the look of this tractor. Big dual tyres. Pretty cool. So a lot of equipment to move, but that's just part of the plan. So I do love driving the tractors though. It's probably one of the most enjoyable parts of this game. It's what it's all about really, isn't it? I don't need to send him that far, so so here's a recent purchase, the RT. So this is just the dual track version. Pretty cool tractor. Brand new. Nice interior detail. Very maneuverable, which is good. So it can basically turn on itself. Alright, so what I might do is I'll get the JCB fast track down here. If I can get to it. And then I'll go and grab some of these implements. So the reason why I like the JCB fast track is obviously because it's 73k per hour top speed. Just makes sort of moving equipment around a lot quicker and a lot easier. So I really do enjoy looking out and seeing just the rolling hills. And it looks pretty cool when it's all cropped out with you know, wheat or barley or something. It's all grown. It just looks like a genuine large-scale farming operation. Which in real life is, you know, basically the name of the game, right? Bigger the farm, more profit, more land. So particularly in Australia, where I'm from, in some of our western states, we've got huge wheat fields. Bigger than some countries, just to sort of put it in perspective. Right, so we'll get these rolls out the way. I'm just going to put them up over near the windmills here. So I basically figured the grey area that I've got marked out is going to be the sort of the footprint for the farm slash sort of town. So I haven't quite decided what I'm going to put in the actual town area. I know I can get like the gas station. There'll be a few productions. Obviously anything grain related, so bread. Going to get some canola so we can do canola oil. We'll have a logistics center, so that'll be, you know, warehousing mod trucks that we just can sell back and forth through the farm shop. I might even put some sell points sort of around this area as well, just to give it a bit more option to sort of drive around and sell and move product around. But the whole goal of this map is really just to go full scale grain farming. So this is another great little grain cart. I use this one quite a lot, especially in the base game. I do use the walkabout mother bin from time to time, but in the smaller maps it just gets stuck on everything because it's got such a large turning circle, so it's much more suited to a map of this size. Watch out for the RTK station. So I do have precision farming turned on, so I've just got it on just because I downloaded it. It's basically in every map, every game that I've got now, so I don't always follow the exact steps. Like I've got weeds turned off, ploughing turned off, field stone turned off, so it's just another sort of not something I follow religiously, but when this farm is sort of built out with seasons turned on, I will make it a bit more of a focus, because it just sort of adds a little bit more realism to the whole process. So just double checking we haven't got any. Oh yeah, we've got some stuff over here. So the Colossus harvesters you can see over there are relatively new. Great addition to the game. Oop, bit of a jackknife there. They're obviously not realistic in terms of their speed and how they harvest but obviously for something like this, where it's more about efficiency and farming as much as possible, it's definitely worth the investment, because it does take a long time to harvest at normal speed. So I was doing that up until they were released, and it would take anywhere from sort of 1 to 2 hours to harvest all this area. So sort of in the interest of speeding up my own sort of gameplay loop and making the most of it, it's great to have them as an option. So get these out of the way, and I've got the little pressure cleaner there, so that'll be going shortly. Alright, I think that's it for equipment, so let's get on to the rest of these harvesters. Now, I did have the warehouse full to the brim of bread and flour, so a few episodes ago, in just one of the time-lapse videos, I emptied it all out, and sort of in preparation for now, I should have just walked over. Oh, that's not it. Alright. I've got a telehandler fork remaining, so I'm not sure if that's, I think that's the least item, so I'll get rid of that. Alright, so I'll just go into the construction mode. And we'll have a good look around, see if there's anything remaining. So we've just got our buildings, grain mill, RTK station, sell point. So I did have some sheep at one stage. That's why this is the way it was, because I had cotton and wool production. And basically all this field over here, the first one I did, that was all cotton, so just trying to get as much money as possible. However, I moved away from cotton and then back to grain farming, because that's sort of where I'm more interested in. So let's start selling some of these. So hopefully if there's anything in here product wise we get paid for. So let's have a look. So just the building. Alright, let's get rid of this one here. So this is the multi-fruit buy station. That's a pretty handy mod. Don't use it too often. Alright, now this may have some stock in here. Yep. Alright, so I did test selling a silo, and it did sell the crop inside, so same rules should apply for grain mill. So let's see what happens. Nope, doesn't sell your crop, so good to know. So there's a couple of million in crops gone, but it is what it is. Now the silos should sell what's inside, so if I click on one of these here, sell that. There we go, harvest income of 143,000. Okay, so that's good. So I'm just going to sell all these. So obviously we're going to get a big jump in income here. So the reason why I want to get rid of these silos is I just basically place them down as the crop yields started to increase. And I didn't really consider the amount of grain that would be coming in. So it's basically just a case of just making more space and just adding more capacity. But it kind of aesthetically didn't really fit what I was going for. So this one should yield quite a bit of profit. So that was like 600, here we go, 613,000 for that one. So we're sitting on 18 million, so that's great. Alright, first job is going to be to flatten. So let's get the landscape tool out, level, change it to a square. Now I'm going to start from the center. What was that? That was level. Yeah, so the problem here is I've got to find a good level patch already, which I think is over here. Yeah, so see that? See how the money's not changing? So that means this is already quite level. So when I go through and do the leveling procedure, I'll start from here and move into all the other areas. That way I'll be able to maintain the same level throughout this area. So let's just go through this area here. Yep. So I've got a little bit to do. And I will go out further than I need to, just to make sure. So particularly where I had some of these buildings before. Yeah, I think there's a bit there. And what I'll do later is I'll come back and soften this up. So I'll fix up all the textures. Let's just go through, give it one final pass. The reason why I want to do this now is because if there is any discrepancies in the flatness, it'll show up in the final build process. You'll get weird sort of terraforming, and you know, it won't be perfectly flat. It's really annoying when you have, you know, little ramps or bumps unexpectedly. Yeah, so just like in here in particular, you can see that it's not quite level. They don't really plan on building too many buildings close to the lake, but just to be careful. I know this is not super uniform, but I've already been over this a number of times. This is just a sort of one last check. And I think this is really probably big enough. I might just push out a little bit further. I know, I remember I stopped here because I've got this rocky outcrop that I need to address. So I'll just zoom on out again. Okay, that's looking good. Alright, I'm going to jump in the lizard ute, and we'll do a little bit of a drive around just to sort of get a feel for the area. And just the size and scale. So obviously this is where our silos were. And I think what I'll do is I'll paint it all sort of bitumen, and then I'll have, let's see, we got a bit of grass there. So I'll hit that with the painting tool. So the plan will be, there'll be a bit of a dirt road sort of on the outside that will link up the sort of, let's see, here we go, this is a bit of a bumpy area. So this will probably be where part of the road goes through. And obviously I've got a bit of a hill to sort of sort out there. So I won't be building very close to that. Most of the main structures will be sort of out towards this area here because it's definitely flatter and more uniform. So I've got the main road, which I want to sort of keep in line with the shop. So basically you drive from the shop up through the middle here, and then it'll be a direct straight line. So there'll be productions and main farm buildings over there. Over to the right here will be farm, so the farmhouse. And then I think the main silo, so I'm going to get the 16 million litre AGI pack, I believe it is. So it'll go pretty much straight parallel to the, so it'll be straight off of this section here. And then from there, so if we go out to the main map, so the main map area, we'll have a bit of our sort of connecting roads. So we'll just zoom out and get a better view. I think that's a fairly decent size. Alright, so what I'll do now is I'll just sort of start painting it all out and continue the build. So painting. So this is the No Man's Land cloud state mod. So this obviously puts a cloud state in. So that's what I've been using over on this field here to sort of paint out. So that was the one that cost 4 million to build. So I think we use asphalt. Let's have a look what we've got first. So we've got gravel. I think we've got a concrete texture somewhere. So concrete bricks, concrete, cobblestone, asphalt. So let's have a look at asphalt. Yeah, so that looks like what I've chosen already. So you can see it's quite expensive to paint with. So I'm just going to go ahead and paint this whole area. Make sure we haven't missed any bits. And then what I'm going to do later is come back through and just sort of nuance the texture a little bit. I'll add some dirt, some grass where it's relevant. Let's sort of go from there. So I think what I'll do... So I'm not too concerned about how it looks at the moment. Because the plan is to sort of straighten it up, and I'm going to have some dirt around the pond, so it doesn't make sense to asphalt the whole thing. Because I am also going to obviously have equipment storage. Yeah, a place for all the tractors, that type of thing. And obviously fix up the terraforming around where the farmhouse is going to go. So I don't have a plan set in stone. So I'm just thinking I'm just going to build out what makes sense at the time, and then just leave space for expansion as I sort of go through. So I feel like I've left enough space for that to happen. And if I ever want to change anything, it should be relatively easy. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Alright, so what I might do... Like, asphalt makes sense for roads. So let's see what the concrete texture looks like. So sort of concrete pads to sort of build on. I'll just try and run these parallel to the road area. And hopefully I want to try and keep these as uniform as possible, so not like that. Did it again. So I might zoom in for this. There we go. So that's the first one. So this is where I'm sort of thinking to put the main grain facility. So let's just see what that silo looks like. So the silo I'm thinking of putting in is the... Oh, so this is the new bale and pallet storage, so I might actually get some bales and pallets going. Yeah, so we've got the Neuro, I believe that's how you pronounce it, 16 million litre facility. So what I think we'll do, yeah, so I'm going to have to extend that concrete pad, and this is going to be the silo area, so let's do that. So I think I'll go out a bit further. Because basically what I do when I unload the grain is I generally line up the harvesters in a row, and then I'll just pull the road train up underneath them and basically empty them that way. So let's just see if that silo is going to fit now. Okay, that's looking pretty good. And then obviously I want to leave enough room for trucks to drive in and out, so kind of want to have that easily accessible. And also want to have enough room for the farm equipment to be able to turn around, so I might actually just bring it back a little bit further. Unless I flip it around this way and then have the trucks drive in. Yeah, from this direction, but then that blocks the road, so I'm not quite sure. I'm thinking this way might be better. Then I'll have a nice clear path for entering and exiting, because I will be using the road train hopefully. So let's go in the middle. Just make sure it's nice and straight. So it is going to terraform slightly, so hopefully that's not going to be too much money. So I wonder if that's not actually flat. So let's have a look at that, because I don't want to run into the issue of not having that flat. So we'll go back to this area where I know it's pretty flat. Alright, that looks pretty good. Okay, let's just put it down, see what happens. Alright, silos. Where are we? So push it up towards the back there. Still got a sufficient drive in. Yeah, so that's going to form part of the road for this section of farm anyway. And I'll fix up the how it looks a bit later on. Cool. Alright, let's have a look. So the plan will be the road train will drive in. So the reason why I left a bit of a gap there is just so the machines are able to turn around. It's a very big silo, it's cool. And then we've got our unloading point, which has a little bump in it, which is fine. Oh, it's massive, eh? Look at that. I wonder if there's a ladder. Yes, there is. So we climb up there and have a look. Oh, no. So some of the silos are climbable, obviously that one's not. Alright, no worries. Let's get back over to the farm. Just thought that might have been a little bit of a bump there, but no, that looks fine. There's my trusty ute. Alright, so that's going to be the main grain area. What I might do next is I might put the farmhouse in. So we'll leave it there for today's episode. Thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned for the next one.